The theme of this year's conference, Sound Governance, as a cursor to a thriving economy, a case for inclusiveness, and our sub-themes provide an opportunity for all of us to extensively discuss and come up with recommendations and solutions that will contribute effectively to identifying what we must do to solve our economic problems in this country. Despite our vast resources, our capacities, and our dynamic population, we have for very long been called the comatose giant of Africa. And that's something we should shed and throw away. We must achieve our full potential. We, over the years, aborted the faithful implementation of our development plan regime. We abandoned meritocracy. We abandoned hard work. We abandoned creative work. We have abandoned efficiency, justice, the rule of law, and sound governance practices at all levels. All our governments lost capacity for deep and corrupted and uncorrupted thinking. And the private sector, primarily many of us in this room and those who went before us, rather than force governments to reset, we then held on to the coattails of whatever government was in power. So we did not shift government's mind and government's thinking, and business as usual commenced and continued. Consequently, 63 years after our independence, and regardless what we have earned, and I'm sure many of us in this room have an idea of the resources and revenues we have earned in 63 years, we are poorer today than we were 50 years ago. And indeed, we have become the poverty capital of the world. 60% of our adult population are either unemployed or underemployed or unemployable. Our substandard infrastructure every day becomes even more decayed. 96% of our revenues are used to pay off increasingly mounting debts. And that 96% was at June or May. It probably today may be 98%. Inflation is at its highest level ever. And sometimes the government figures tell us 25%, 26%. But those of us that go to the market every day know that that inflation rate is closer to 90%. At least food inflation. Our uncommitted foreign reserves, because every day they tell us we have 35 billion or 36 billion as foreign reserves, but how much of that is clear reserves? Most of it is already committed. So if we take out the committed reserves, we probably have reserves of 6 billion, the lowest ever in the history of our country. And we see this slide in our currency. In the last 3 months, the true market tells us that we've moved from 750 to maybe 990 this morning. You know, for those who pay school fees, I know we monitor this every day. And then we haven't had supply of foreign flows for a long time. So we don't have foreign exchange supply. So what will happen to our currency? Without supply and with increasing demand, the currency will keep depreciating. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 1,000 over dollar currency in the next few months. Over 20 million of our children are not in school. And we all know what has happened to discipline and family values. We know what's happening about insecurity in our country. And then there's corruption everywhere, all kinds of corruption and at every level. The last decade has been particularly bad for this country. We do not have new domestic, neither do we have new direct foreign investments. When you see those flows, you know, they're like magic because it's not new. You know, those of you who are in corporates, international corporates, know that we're just moving things. So real new money hasn't come into this economy for a long time.